The moment where a childhood memory becomes fuel for one last stand, Stain sacrifices himself to paralyze All for One. And Midoriya faces an impossible choice between saving his mentor or protecting everyone. Last time on My Hero Academia, All Might confronted All for One solo with only support gear. Midoriya restrained Shigaraki in midair to prevent decay. The episode opens with something unexpected. Little Toshinori Yagi sitting with his mom reading an Anpanman picture book. They're singing the theme song about living joyfully even when your chest wounds ache. That's heavy lyrics for a kid's book, but All Might narrates that this soft memory is too tender to be called an origin. We then see adult Toshinori walking down a symbolic brick path as time shifts from day to night, and glowing embers appear representing one for all being passed down. He cups one ember in his hands as it glows brightly. Nothing like starting with massive death flags, right? We slam into the present where All Might in his armored suit battles a glowing golden All for One. He charges and throws All Might into rubble. Then, the hero killer Stain appears looking deranged several tens of minutes ago because we're doing a flashback. Stain eavesdropped on Ida and Todoroki's conversation with All Might. He calls them Ingenium and the Scar Kid, which is hilarious, and deduced All Might would fight alone. So Stain tracked All for One's blood by following destruction and literally sniffing bloodstains like the world's most disturbing detective. Stain tests multiple blood samples going, "That's not it, this isn't it either," until he finally confirms it's All for One's blood. Once he licks it, Blood Curdle activates and All for One freezes mid-movement. Stain explains his philosophy: heroes exist for others, but humans should be allowed to fight for their own lives too. He tells All Might to come end him, the murderer of 40 heroes. All Might shouts, "I understand, you must live," and they both yell, "I am here," charging together. It's genuinely epic seeing the symbol of peace and hero killer team up, but of course, All for One planned for this. He uses forced activation and bloodlet, exploding his entire body into a wave of blood. Wait, hold up, this man just expelled all his blood voluntarily. He explains he predicted Stain would try something since Stain was the only Tartarus inmate who didn't join him. Even if All for One expels the blood, it's still his blood, so Blood Curdle should work, right? All for One reveals antigen swap. He overwrote his blood type at the genetic level. This man is so paranoid about being tracked that he has a quirk specifically to change his blood. That's either genius or the mindset of someone who desperately needs therapy, probably both. All for One notes that draining his blood cleared his head, so apparently an impromptu full-body blood donation is this villain's version of meditation. Absolutely zero concerning behavior there. A massive mouth shoots from his back and chomps into Stain's body, and All for One throws him across the city through multiple buildings. He finds the broken Stain and coldly states his role ended after inspiring the League. Stain refuses this, insisting it's all part of a bigger process. He says All Might taught him what being a hero means. Stain's final words are, "Win this, my All Might," before All for One punches through him in a wave of blood. The man who murdered 40 heroes just died trying to save the greatest hero. Character arcs really do come full circle. All for One immediately blasts All Might with concentrated energy, but the remaining pieces of Hercules intercept it, sacrificing itself while calling out for All Might to live. Even his equipment is making heroic sacrifices now. All Might lies broken on the ground when Nana Shimura's spirit appears. Then, Sir Night-Eye's ghost shows up. All Might realizes he's hallucinating dead mentors to give himself courage. His brain is literally generating motivational speakers because he's that broken. Both support items and his legs are destroyed. He can't fight anymore, but Night-Eye's voice pleads with him to live so he can witness Midoriya saying, "I'm here," as the next symbol of peace. All Might somehow crawls forward with a terrifying smile, shouting, "I'm not dead yet, come at me." This man has no quirk, no equipment, no legs, and he's still talking trash. That's either the bravest thing ever or complete madness. Meanwhile, at UA's Flying Fortress, Twice's clones disappear and the weight reduces. But All for One enters Mud Warp range, meaning he can teleport Shigaraki to him. Ever since Midoriya jumped from UA, he's been keeping Shigaraki in close combat deadlock. Once All for One uses that teleport, the balance collapses. All for One's plan is to transfer all his replicated quirks into Shigaraki, creating an even stronger version of himself. Game recognizes Game with the body-snatching plan, I guess. All for One mentally calls, "Come here, Tomura, the other me," but Shigaraki's consciousness fights back, shouting, "Stop bothering me." At what seems like a vestige, Shigaraki's personality is resisting takeover, which throws a wrench in All for One's perfect plan. So the villain decides to just go there himself. He announces he'll show how pathetic All Might looks so he can take responsibility for giving youth futile dreams. Then he tells Midoriya directly to go save All Might, perfect timing to abandon Shigaraki. While Midoriya runs off, All for One will destroy everyone who beat him earlier. He's literally presenting an impossible choice: save your mentor or protect everyone else. Pick your nightmare scenario. The narrator explains that tears Midoriya once held back are about to overflow again. He reminds himself to stop being a crybaby because he wants to be a good apprentice. Inside his vestige world, One for All's presence bids an early farewell. Something significant is shifting in the power sustaining this fight. Midoriya screams, and we flash back to young quirkless Izuku asking, "Can I still be a hero without a quirk?" This time, All Might answers differently in his memory. Yes, you can, because you always give your best and never gave up on your dream. All Might admits he can't give up on his dream of becoming the symbol of peace either. All for One remembers Nana Shimura's final moments. He dismissed her as driven by ideals but lacking ability, claiming she died pathetically. But her voice echoes in his memory. All for One, you'll be defeated by All Might, because Toshinori is much crazier than you. That assessment hits different seeing present. All Might looks up and asks, if you die once more, you'll turn into a kindergartner, huh? Taunting All for One about de-aging himself to stay alive. All for One realizes All Might is ready to blow himself up and take him along, a suicide attack as the final move. But All for One asks mockingly, did you think you'd die like a hero? You used up everything, and activates Blood Curdle, the quirk stolen from Stain. The ultimate cruel irony unfolds as Stain's quirk that judged false heroes now paralyzes the one true hero Stain believed in. All for One explains wounded heroes are most terrifying, so he won't let All Might accomplish any final feat. He's making sure this ends with humiliation, not glory. That's the face he's been wanting to see, the moment All Might hates most. At UA, Gentle Criminal announces he'll abandon his post, keeping the fortress stable to save All Might, as cameras broadcast this nightmare worldwide. All for One notes UA moving made him miss his aim, but addresses Gentle by his real name, Danjuro Tobita, telling him to let benevolence crush him. Then the command comes, let the barrage of fire go off. The X-66 stealth jets appear, the same pilots who worked with Star to fight Shigaraki before. The command is clear, fire. Before they could hit All for One, he cut stealth jets in half. Civilians everywhere watch on screens with expressions from shock to terror. Melissa Shield cries in a dark room. Gran Torino weeps in his hospital bed. The scene cuts between All for One holding defeated All Might and grimacing Shigaraki. Yup, it's the end, as citizens realize their symbol of peace is about to die on live television. People cry out, don't let this be, please stop this, as desperate pleas overlap. Then on a rooftop we see a huge blast. Our goat is back, Bakugo, ready to fight All for One himself. The end of an era, and the beginning, we return to that symbolic path where Toshinori sees two young boys, Deku and Bakugo, holding glowing All Might trading cards. They hold them toward the sky, and the cards transform into two light streaks shooting into the stars. Those lights come back down as President Deku catches his old tattered card. The torch is being passed whether anyone's ready or not. I'm calling it now. Bakugo's revival and his explosion quirk will evolve in a way nobody expects. That's this episode. A childhood Anpan-Man memory fuels All Might's refusal to die. Stain sacrifices everything only for All for One to steal Blood Curdle and paralyze the symbol of peace with it. Here's the impossible question. If you were Midoriya right now, what would you actually do? Save your mentor knowing Shigaraki escapes to kill everyone at UA, or stay on mission and watch the person who gave you everything die on live TV? There's no right answer, so drop your honest take. Don't forget we're aiming for 1 million subscribers. Only 960,000 left to go, so smash that subscribe button.